Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about boundaries. And specifically, we're going to talk about 4 common situations where your boundaries might get crossed because you didn't communicate those boundaries, and you didn't communicate it for these 4 common reasons.
Yeah, this happens more often than people establishing boundaries. Like I've rarely had someone cross my boundaries after I've stated them.
Yeah.
People usually back off.
When you set boundaries, it's like a fence, right?
It's like, nope, not happening.
People climb over fences and trespass, so to speak, but
it's not as common as people respecting the sign.
yeah, exactly. And so one of them that I'm sure many of you can relate to is if you have a friend or a significant other or someone who needs to vent, whether it's about some external event or about you, and you let them vent to you without ever telling them that you cannot actually handle that emotional burden at the moment.
Yeah, that happens a lot. They're like, I can't handle this friend because she's always dumping her problems on me.
And it's like,
but have you told her?
Yeah, have you told her? Or if she's going to in the moment, have you told her can we come back to this because I can't handle that right now?
I'm too stressed out.
Have you established that boundary?
That's the first move.
Yeah, that's the first one. And related to that, second one is, have you ever said no? God, these people, they always ask me for this, or I keep getting all these,
pick up the kids, or
I keep getting emails from people that ask me all these questions about nutrition, and I just never have any time to do my own work. And it's like, well, have you just told them no, you're not going to do that, or you're not going to answer, and they should look at you and they can hire you for a consult if they need to have these questions answered by you?
That's your job to set that boundary. It is not their job to know that they can't ask, because there's plenty of people that do offer that stuff for free.
Yeah. I mean,
we answer questions constantly for free.
But just the other day, you had to send someone to your page because the questions they
was very in depth, and it was going to take
and
hours.
It's no, that's consult work. That's coaching work. You need to say no. If someone can't respect you saying no, then that's not someone you want to interact with anyway.
Exactly.
Saying no is very, you can't be a people pleaser. Saying no, you need to look out for yourself.
People don't like to hear that.
I know, they don't, but
because you're conditioned from being a child to do the right thing to make other people happy, but you got to break that. You're an adult now. You're not a child anymore. Grow up.
Yeah, exactly. So another one would be that you're basically your friend or your partner's expert on their life, or their makeshift therapist, so to speak. They rely on you. They rely on you for feedback about their own life, and it can be really draining. It can take up a lot of your time, but it's that's you, because you got yourself in that position where they came to rely on you. You never set a boundary of I can't do this all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people that feel like they're crossing my boundaries when they're not. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you need to let me tell you. I'll tell you. I'm not afraid. But I think that people just assume that no one has boundaries, right? Because a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Or they want to be the victim of their life, and so then they don't tell people now. And
yeah.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, right. And then so the other one too, and you can see all of these are somewhat related. And our fourth and final one is basically that you're scared of being mean. This especially plays into saying no, because saying no is actually an example of this, but it can extend to a lot of ways. You're literally just afraid of people interpreting you in a bad light. You're afraid of bad publicity, so to speak.
And I think that people conflate being direct with being rude, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to be called a bitch or a dick or whatever. I am. I've been called a bitch since I was younger, just because I have boundaries, and it's intrinsic for me. I'm not gonna let people walk all over me.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's another area. You have to establish that boundary of you're not afraid of people thinking that you're mean or rude or whatever, just because you have your own boundary. Like that's their problem.
Your character will show too. Like,
yeah,
that's early on when I was first establishing boundaries. This was really hard for me because I don't like to be thought of as a bitch when I'm not, because I'm not. Like, I'm a very caring person. But I'm also very direct. Like, I will tell you the truth, like, no matter what.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that some people are going to receive that initially as bitchy or rude, but eventually your character shines through, always.
Yeah. And especially if you kind of expect people to interpret it in that way, I mean, you have to also understand a lot of people just aren't used to communicating, for example, with people who are very direct and blunt with what they say.
Yeah, most people are pushovers.
Whenever they have
and lie.
historically encountered those people, the vast majority of the time, those people were intentionally trying to be rude. And so it's understandable they have that association. But so you can't be worried about them projecting that onto you. It's part of the game, you know, and
game of life.
Yeah, and you can always clarify in follow-ups that, or even at the end of your sentiment, like, hey, I know this might come across as being rude. Just want to reassure you that's not my intent. It's just I'm trying to be succinct with a lot of complex information, and so I'm being very direct with my words. Smiley face.
You're a lot better at that than me. I'm just direct and let people come back
take
around.
It how they will. Yeah.
They usually always come back around.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, people get mad at her and then send her messages like months later, like, hey, you were
I'm
right.
Sorry, I blocked you.
Yeah, it's funny to watch.
Happens a lot, actually. And it's not me being rude. Like, I'm not being like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like, I don't ever say stuff like that. I'm just telling them how I see it.
Yeah, she's just being direct with her thoughts. Yeah. Never insulting, just
and never ill intent either. Like, I don't ever try to hurt people.
Yeah. So anyway, that's 4 things that people screw up on when like you should be setting these boundaries, but you don't, and then maybe it upsets you in some way. The issue is you
have to set them.
Like, you have to tell people that you can't handle them venting. You have to be able to say no. You have to establish that you can't be someone's life therapist all the time, and you can't be scared of people, you know, interpreting you in negative light because you're being authentic.
Exactly.
So awesome. If you like the content of this video, great. That's what we're trying to do. Please like the video, share it with someone who you think would appreciate this information. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.